I myself have actually ditched the 1 minute time frame. I haven't been trading it now for the last couple of months. And to be honest, I've seen absolutely incredible change to my trading and also my general life. I feel a lot more calmer. I feel a lot less emotional. It's a lot easier to trade. My days are easier. My analysis is easier. I make more money. It's literally a no-brainer. So I just want to share the reasons why the 1 minute time frame for me, although it's great and I made a great amount of money on the 1 minute time frame, that it also has its downsides. And I do feel like many new traders, they embark on this journey, they go on the 1M and they get absolutely smashed about multiple times. It's not something I ever thought I would do. However, putting the ego aside, going on a discovery, looking at my data and realizing that for me to get to the next level, I've got to make a change. There's a reason why most people trade in that kind of capital and not trade in 1M with tiny stops. This isn't to bash or discredit because it is great. I have people that I know that make huge amount of money using the 1M. However, this is my experience of 2.5 years trading the 1 minute time frame and how I'm going to be moving forward. I've been testing the 15M now since sort of December last year. Now the concepts haven't changed. The way I trade is exactly the same as probably the 1M on the 15. There's no real difference. The only difference is the execution time frame and having a bigger stop. I also teamed up with the guys over at Evolution. We've been doing work together back and forth. Look, it's been quite difficult not going to the lower time frames. There are the odd occasion where I'm like, oh, I'll just go on the 5M or the 1M. But I've also scrapped the 5M too. Now the 5M's great. If you're struggling on the 1 and you still want that kind of lower time frame feel, the 5M's brilliant. At the moment I'm just focused on the 15 minute and it's sick. Nothing's actually changed. I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, everything I was doing didn't work anymore and now I've changed. It's not that. It's just I want to enter on a higher time frame. I'm happy to take less R and I'm happy to have bigger stops. The RR on offer on the 1M is insane, right? You can all of a sudden go from 1-to-1s to 1-to-2s to making 1-to-5s to 1-to-10s, and that's great. And I'm not discrediting that because there are people that are doing it and I've done it myself. However, long term, I've realized the emotional burden it carries, it just isn't for me. Perhaps the barriers I've created in my mind and the friction to scale my capital has come from the 1M and the amount of losses that you can take, the amount of trades that you perhaps have to journal, and the fact that you actually do your analysis on a higher time frame, you call the direction of the market to a T, however your entry is what's messing you up and you're just giving back profits and taking losses for no reason. And then when you catch the one that goes, you're emotional and you either just close the trade to get a break even, or you hold it with greed, thinking it's going to go and put in a new 4-hour low on the 1M, and it reverses on you and takes you out. When I took those 15k break evens and I did it back to back twice, I was in bits. And that's not because I'm attached to the money, but it's because my head's like, dude, you're a trader and your job is to get paid. When you pay the trader and you're constantly seeing blue and you're taking profits from your trades, it does wonders for your mindset. And slowly, as you incrementally grow and that account gets bigger, you end up making more money than you would have if you were holding a 1-to-10 on 100k than if you had a 1-to-3 and you were trading on £1 million. So you start to realize you don't need as much RR when you have more capital. Now, yes, you can partial. However, someone that holds a 1-to-10, right, but partials at 1-to-3, a 1-to-5, a 1-to-7, and they get the 1-to-10, it's not actually a 1-to-10 anymore. It's usually like a 1-to-5. You also have to encounter the fact that a lot of people, when trading the 1M, they have to reduce their risk purely because they could take a lot more losses in the pursuit of that win. On a funded account, you do have max drawdowns. I'm in an industry that's very lucrative and we can make serious bags, provided we get control of ourselves, more importantly, and we have a system that's repeatable on bigger capital. You always hear these people saying, oh, when I get to 1 million, I'll change how I trade because it's different then. Why are we waiting until we get to 1 million to change? Surely you should do that now, create the habits now, so that when you're on 1 million, you haven't got to change anything and potentially blow the lot up. When you want to really scale, you have to look around and go, how many people are trading that kind of capital with that kind of entry on the 1M, and you start to see a common pattern and a common theme. The ones that are trading 7-8 figures, they usually enter in on the 15 minute, the 1 hour, the 4 hour, sometimes the daily. Now, success leaves clues, and when you look at it like that, you start to think, why are they doing that? Why are they not on the lower time frames? The lower time frames are great, and some of them may enter on the lower time frame and increase their stop, which is another way you could look at it. You could enter on the 1M, but you could have a bigger stop to compensate, and I know a few people that do that. However, with the smaller stops, you could be right. You could have done all your higher time frame analysis. You could be on the right side of the market, but because you had a 2 to 5 pip stop, you got taken out, but then the market went in your favor. Now, we're always told, hit it again, it'll be okay because the RR will fix it. But mentally, what impact is that having on you? I had a conversation with someone not long ago, which really got me thinking in a different limelight. Yes, you can make 1 to 100s. However, at what cost? What cost mentally and what emotional bearing does that have on you from a standpoint of you may take 10 to 15 losses in a row and relying on one Hail Mary to get you over the line and get you back into profit, most people can't deal with that. And the emotional burden that has on you as a trader and an individual is what affects your mindset long term. And then you go down a route of having bad psychology. And you may not have even had the bad psychology, but those L's and that repeated hitting it is what's causing it. So imagine if you were just to remove that and you didn't need to use the 1M and you use something like the 15M. Now, would you trade 7 figures trading the 1M with 2 pip stops? No, because you wouldn't even get the lot size down. And when you think of it logically, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to have 10, 15 grand stop loss on a 1 to 2 pip stop? It doesn't make sense. It's fun and games at the early stages, but once you start to grow and mature as a trader, you realise, well, actually, what I'm doing is a bit mad. And you know what's crazy? I had people say this to me, and I've come across more and more people on my journey that have said to me, dude, you won't do that on big money. You won't want to trade like that on big money. And the people that I've told that I used some of the ways I used to trade have laughed at me. And at the time, maybe I had an ego. Maybe I thought I was the man. Maybe I had a point to prove. And I thought, I'll show you. But the reality is now I'm actually sitting here going, you know what? Trading the 15M is actually really nice. Look, someone's going to say, oh, we'll just get a better entry drill. It's not all about the entry drill. And I 100% agree. It's where you trade from. However, on lower time frames with small stops, you're trying to trade with such precision because the banks initiated their orders from here or whatever you want to call it. You're just being too perfect. And perfection doesn't exist in trading. I've tried. It doesn't exist. It doesn't work. And you end up banging your head off a wall when you realize that actually, if you were just to follow your higher time frame narrative, which I advise all of you to go and look at your higher time frame narrative from a daily 4-hour, 15-minute perspective and see how often you get the direction of the market right. Do that first, right? Because that's what I did. And I realized that 70-80% of the time, I can understand the trend. I have a good idea of where we're likely to head, which is all I'm doing is stacking confluences in order to enter the trade. The problem came on the lower time frames. Maybe you're getting induced, maybe you're getting swept. Now people are going to jump up, learn liquidity, learn inducement theory, learn lit trading, learn algo trading, whatever you want to call it. Why do I need to know how every single piece of the market works to make money? Truth of the matter is you don't. People make money with very little knowledge. They just have a good mindset and they just repeat the process. I started to realize that if I just dialed things back, traded on a higher time frame perspective on the 15M, enter on the 15M, smaller R but 1% risk, cap my losses at 1 loss a day, focused on the long term, I make way more money. The results are in. They're so much more in favour of the 15M, and I highly advise anyone doing this, don't just take my word for it, go and test it, go and actually look at it for yourself. But you have to do this, you have to ask questions, you have to actually dig into things and go, do I want to do this, do I want to use that, or is it just because someone said do it, I'm doing it? I trade to make money, I trade for my family, I trade for generational wealth. I do not trade to please people, and I do not trade to try and be the best trader. I'm not interested in entering some kind of trophy or championship of the trading dons of the world. I couldn't care less. For me, it's just about trading, making bank, diversifying and growing my wealth, growing my mind, growing myself as an individual, and setting up things for my family so that we have a sick life. I'm very thankful for it because it's made me a better person, it's made me a stronger person, it's opened my mind, it's taught me so many lessons, and I don't look at things in a bad light anymore. For example, let's say you go to a restaurant, the food's crap, right? Naturally, as a person, you're going to go, oh, that was a horrible experience, the food was rubbish, never going there again. However, the waiter might have been really nice, the music might have been great, the atmosphere might have been nice, the ambience might have been nice, the journey there might have been nice, you might have made a memory after. But naturally as humans, we just look at the negative and go, yeah, that was rubbish. I could easily go, that was rubbish, worst time of my life, never doing that again, oh my God. Or I can go, what's the good in this? What's life trying to do? Is it trying to get rid of people? Is it trying to get rid of things? Is it trying to make me realise something? Is it trying to point me in a different direction? Have I got to take some side quests? What is it I've got to do? When you can look at things like that and you can open your mind, you really start to go, whoa, okay, this is interesting. And it happens in all walks of life. It's that thing of you've got to go through the dirt to find the gold. How many times will they dig and dig and dig through dirt to get to the gold? It doesn't just gold's here. I hit 1 million views on YouTube. It took me 16 months. I've lost 25 kilos in weight. It took me 8 months. Making money in trading, finding the consistency. Everything I did was from doing the actions and the habits I implemented every day and consistently doing them. And this is the thing with the trading now. My main focus is to get to 7 and then 8 figures in funding capital along with my own personal money and be able to diversify and have liquid cash to invest in so many different assets that I have money coming in from here, there and everywhere. Trading is the main way for me to make huge amounts of money, and we have so many opportunities in front of us, yet we don't take them because we're trying to act the best trader or be the best trader or show off how you trade. No one's even paying attention. Everyone's got their own stuff to deal with. Everyone's got their own life, their own problem. You need to ask yourself, why are you doing this trading thing? What is the goal and what is the benefit of trading? And then ask yourself, how do you get there? What is it? If that means you trade the daily time frame, go and trade it. If you're trading the 1M and you make good money and you've not hit any barrier, if you've not had the same realizations as me, if you've not had the same pushback as me, don't even worry about it. Don't just go, oh, I've changed, I've got to change. No. That's not how it works. That's not what this is about. This is not me saying discredit the 1M, never use it. But what I am saying is, based on the people I speak to, based on the messages I receive, there is a massive shift coming in this industry where I believe many people are going to shift to higher time frames. If you're fine with the 1M, if everything's going great, just ignore this video. Don't even worry about it. But I'm trying to share my opinion after 2.5 years. Sometimes you need to go back to go forward. I've had this real revelation. It's been sick. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. Without further ado, I'll stop waffling and I'll catch you all in the next video. Have a great week. Peace and love, gang.